Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new Coffee and Crypto. We're going to be speaking today about Radix. I've been speaking about Radix a lot lately in English most of the time. My community, Thomas, welcome, and thanks for being here. My community is typically in Spanish, and that's what I've been doing for the last 7 years or something.
Cool.
But lately, when I joined the Radix community, I mean, most of my content for Radix is in English. So I'm
Cool.
starting to distribute now my content between Spanish and English. But I'm so happy to be here on Radix so far. So Thomas, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my space here at Coffee
Yeah,
and Crypto. Super glad to have you here. How are you? How are you today?
I'm doing well. BCD Memo, thanks for having me, man. I really appreciate it. I'm excited to be here. It's
Yeah,
just a beautiful day in the neighborhood. So, LA, I'm out in LA, so very sunny today. No fires, so surviving.
oh man. So now that you put that into my attention,
Yeah,
how did you leave that these couple of last weeks?
man, it's been pretty rough. I'm not gonna lie, like I was lucky enough to be about 5 miles south of everything that was going on, so I wasn't too heavily impacted. But like, you drive up the coast, you can see them. A couple of my friends have lost their homes, lost their businesses. It was a very trying time for a lot of people. It's very unfortunate because almost over 15,000 homes were destroyed and buildings destroyed. And so, uh, tough time, but you keep moving on, you keep going, so that's how it goes.
Yeah, it's a hard time. I mean, I just watch them on TikTok or Twitter or the news, and it
Yeah.
looks super amazing. It seems
Yeah.
like it was a movie or something like that. It was
Mhm.
crazy to know that it was a reality, a true thing, and so many theories behind that, right? On why that happened, how U.S. Was not able. I mean, I'm saying U.S. because I'm in Mexico, and
Yeah.
we
Yeah. Yeah.
typically have U.S.s, or they
Mhm.
have everything in perfect conditions, and they
Yeah.
have the biggest technology, etc.
Mhm.
I have a friend who is a firefighting here in Mexico,
Oh,
and he
wow.
always speak whenever he has to go to get trained or something. He's been doing that for, I don't know, 20 years or something. So
Oh,
he
man.
has a plenty of experience. But
Yeah.
he always says, "Oh, in US the firefighting are much better, next
Yeah.
level."
It's
So I
great.
wonder how they live
How did
that.
this happen? I mean, there's a
Yeah,
lot of things, like being in LA. I mean, so the mayor cut the budget, the fire department budget last year by $17 million. The reservoir that was close to the Palisades was shut down and empty and non-operational. So the fire hydrants were empty. All right, like a lot went wrong. You know what I mean? It's
yeah.
very kind of mismanaged on a foundational level in terms of Los Angeles, but that's rather here nor there.
Yeah, and I heard on some news or some comments for
Yeah.
different people. I don't know if you get to follow Kevin. I don't know if he's over there as well on
Sure.
LA. He was on real estate years ago, and now he's a big YouTuber that he's always speaking about politics and
Yeah, yeah,
investments and all that stuff. So he was saying, yeah, but don't worry, guys, it's just rich people houses, so they don't have any issue with that.
yeah,
But I don't think that's the case, right? I mean,
yeah.
it was super hard. Not so many lives were lost, so that's
Mhm.
good
That's a good thing. That's a
for
good
the
thing.
magnitude that it was.
Yeah,
But as you were saying, friends, close friends to you, they lost their home or their business, and that's a
yeah.
what
Not
do you
good.
do after that, man?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's and just doing like a comparison. I always like to do whenever there's things going on the real life, because we are in crypto, and it seems so far like this is the internet money, right? The internet
yeah,
funny thing that it doesn't have anything to do with real life. I think that's changing very quickly
yeah.
with the latest and greatest. But
Mhm.
whenever you put, let's take your friend as an example. You have a business and you invest a lot of money in that business,
Mhm.
and there's things that can go wrong. Sometimes it's just it did well and you lose money, or a fire like this and you lose all that money. So that happens also on crypto every day.
Yeah, in crypto all the time. No, I'm right there with you, man. It's kind of nuts. It's crazy, and I'll give you a little background on myself too, just since people might not know who I am. But my name's Thomas Gaffney. I've been in crypto for about 10 years now. Predominantly an attorney, but also do investment stuff, entrepreneur, very much so. But I work with a lot of venture capital firms who specifically invest in crypto projects, basically advise on their deals from pre-seed financing all the way up to Series D. And then I also advise, I've overseen over 100 different companies go TGE and launch their tokens. So I help set up their corporate structure for that as well. Launched my own NFT collection, which was a lot of fun. We sold out BuffWild crew. Everyone knows what that is. Had a play to earn game and just kind of been in the Radix space for a long time, in the crypto space for a long time. So know a lot of players, and it's good to be here. Glad to have it. Be on board.
Yeah, and if you see me watching here, it's not that I'm not paying attention. I have the screen here, so I can see you here.
That's okay.
So just for you to know,
no worries.
I'm not doing something different, something else. So very nice. I mean, it's I don't know a lot of people that is doing what you're doing right now in terms of getting capital for different projects and walk them through the series to achieve money. So do you are you yourself one investor that give money to the projects, or you're on the process of taking the projects and giving them advices how to approach the big players?
Sure. Kind of both, actually. So I actually just founded with one of my partners a small venture capital fund called Conduit Capital. We're going to basically be a strategic investment firm where we provide funds for Web3 startups to go TGE, right, and go have a proper token launch. So a lot of people don't really know, but like launching a token and having it be successful is incredibly expensive, right? Like up to the range of like $400,000, right? Because I mean, just to launch your token and be like actually successful with it, right? Because you have to get on exchanges, you need to pay market makers, you need to pay attorneys to set up the foundation and the token issuer entity if you're going to do it properly. For like a real project, meme coin, totally different. Go on pump fun, go on really not fun, you know what I mean? And pump that up and do it. But like if you're working on like a real project, launching a token is can be very complicated, and especially with like the broader crypto market. So that's one aspect I'm doing. But then also, like I said, I'm an attorney, so I advise companies on setting up their companies, advising them the whole process of how to kind of do this, like get token allocation tables done, structuring your token economics, getting legal opinion letters, et cetera, et cetera. There's a lot that goes into it that goes on behind the scenes. So like a lot of these projects that you see launching, there's a lot going on. It's really cool. So that's predominantly kind of what I do.
So what do you think, you being an attorney, what do you think about the legislations that are still not there, and that has been up and down, and so many things that has been going on the last couple of years with Gary Gensler and the SEC going through after several crypto firms, and now finally Gary is leaving, and we're gonna have a much pro Bitcoin. Let's hope, right? Because I remember when Gary Gensler joined the SEC, we were thinking, oh, thank God he's pro Bitcoin, because he was a teacher and he was speaking about Bitcoin, etc. And then he turned out completely different. I think now it's going to be different, but with everything that is going on right now, what are your expectations in regards to, I mean, on US for crypto?
Yeah, absolutely. So, all right. So a lot to unpack there, right? Like, honestly, I'm very excited for the new administration coming in, just because even if they're not necessarily pro crypto or pro, I mean, they're always showing that they're kind of pro crypto. I mean, Trump launched a meme coin literally the other day, and he released Ross from prison. He just pardoned him. What, yesterday was that? So they're making moves, and so
and he's buying. He's buying Bitcoin. He's buying Bitcoin, Ethereum, and some other coins.
He's buying Bitcoin too. So, like, as long as I think it's going to be a very, very positive environment, right? Like, what Gary Gensler was doing was he was having enforcement, like enforcing laws and by enforcement actions and going after people proactively through the judicial system, right? Like, they didn't actually lay out any rules. They weren't kind of like giving people guidelines of really how to like proceed with crypto. They were just going after potential bad actors or non-bad actors and trying to just really shut the whole thing down, right? So I don't know if we're going to see an explosion of like removed regulation, which we might, but one thing I do think is going to stay is like, hopefully we can get more exchanges in the United States outside of just Coinbase, right? Like they blocked Kraken, they blocked Mexi, Binance, KuCoin, like basically everyone, like all the broad exchanges are kind of like just out, right? So a lot of tokens that aren't listed on Coinbase, the United States doesn't have really access to. And so I'm hoping that that's one thing that slowly changes and kind of opens up a little more, is allowing some of these exchanges back into the United States so that the United States citizens can get exposure to some of these amazing projects that are being put out there that they don't have exposure to currently.
Yeah, or just put easier tools, right? Because I mean, with DeFi, I think that anyone can get exposure to anything. I mean, you just go to Coinbase and then buy, I don't know, Ethereum or whichever coin, and then you move somewhere else and go DeFi. But I mean, to have that for the broader audience or for more people that is not knowledge enough, and it's scary. I mean, it's for us that has been here for a long time, it's super simple. You just buy and then move here and then transfer to this wallet and you just connect to. It's super simple, but for the most people, it's scary as hell.
Yeah. Like, oh, I'm taking my hard-earned money and I'm sitting it somewhere where I don't even know. You know what I mean? So like, I totally get it. And so like ease of use, and that's one thing that DeFi's got to kind of overcome here.
For sure. So I do think that there's going to be not remove the legislations, but the other way around. I mean, to make the legislation first of all, so that all the companies know, okay, what are the steps and what they have to be meeting to be good and be able to perform. Have you heard? I mean, I've been hearing that Trump says that he's gonna be helping all the people, all the companies that are based on US crypto firms based on US. So have you heard anything about that?
Nothing yet, man. Nothing yet. I've heard whispers, and I've heard that companies that are based in the United States with crypto might not have capital gains tax for a certain amount of years, which would be massive. You know what I mean? If you imagine if like Trump says, hey, every project based in crypto project based in the United States, users don't have to pay capital gains tax for 3 years for crypto. That would be huge. That'd be like the best thing ever. It would make the whole market explode, right? And so it'd be really cool. So that's one thing I'm hoping for. And then also like there is some murmurs of like having like some kind of guidelines on listing tokens and stuff like that, but nothing's really formalized just yet. Obviously the states have been talking about like Bitcoin reserves. I know that Bobby Kennedy, who is on Trump's administration now, was very pro Bitcoin. He wanted to buy some 10% of Bitcoin and make it a strategic reserve, which was really cool. So if any of those things kind of come out, I can see a huge Huge boom for the market.
Yeah, today in the morning, like 3 or 4 hours ago, I saw a tweet from Cynthia Lumens saying something big is coming today, and then she put an hour, 10 a.m. Eastern,
Oh wow.
and everybody thought, oh man, this is it. He's gonna said about the strategy reserve Bitcoin, and it turned out that was not the big news. But I mean, she is now the head of all this legislation thing for US. So I think that's a good step. And also I saw Donald Trump speaking in Davos in the World Economic right now, and he said that he want to make US the capital of AI and crypto. So I mean, he's really doing or completing the promises that he did over the campaign, and that's amazing to see. But yeah, we're still missing a few of them that would really push the market up as we're waiting for.
It's good. I think we just gotta wait, because I think he's gonna deliver. I genuinely do. Because one thing that I like personally about Trump was that, like, when he ran on policies, he pretty much did them. You know what I mean? Like, he wasn't like, oh, just making some lies and doing stuff. He said he would release Ross. He said he would fire Gary on day one. Gary quit on day one, so he didn't have to do that. He never said he was going to make a Bitcoin reserve. Trump never came out of his mouth. But people have speculated that he may, and they said that they're going to keep all the Bitcoin that they currently have. So people have implied, right? So I definitely see that they're not going to have any selling pressure from the United States anymore. I think that's going to happen for Bitcoin. So that's a good thing. And then two, I do think that if he said he wants to make America the center of crypto, and if he's going to do that, he's got to let the degens, be degen. You know what I mean? You got to like open the floodgates. Like, let's go, baby.
That would make your job super easy, right? If he really do those changes, I think that you're gonna have work for day and night, 24/7.
Yeah.
There's gonna be so many. So in LA, we know it's there is a lot of companies over there for all the electronic or cyber or etc. But how about crypto? Is there the same thing? Is there a lot of crypto firms?
I'll be real. The crypto market in LA took a huge hit during the pandemic because young people. I mean, most people in crypto are young, right? And LA was like locked down like no one's business for a very, very long extended period of time. And so like a lot of people in crypto in LA moved to Miami, moved to Austin, moved out. I mean, there is still definitely still a decent crypto scene here. Like I was just I've been at multiple dinners with multiple founders from the crypto space over like the last week and a half. There's a lot of venture firms here. So like it's the crypto scene in LA is coming back, but it's not quite what it used to be. Just because LA in general has kind of taken a hit in terms of its young population, just because of the pandemic lockdowns. Like LA was locked down for like 2 years, you couldn't do anything. And so young people like going out and doing stuff, And so a lot of people left, and then the fires happen, a lot of shutdown. It's very expensive to live here, So there's still a good scene, but Miami is kind of the place to be.
Nice. And what you do right now? I mean, your focus right now. I guess you don't take only LA, right? I mean, you take whole US or even worldwide, or how are you approaching this?
Worldwide, man. Like crypto is worldwide, dude. Like I have clients from Europe, Singapore, Asia, Korea, Australia, Germany, you know what I mean? Like Africa, I work with people in South America. I work with people in the Cayman Islands, BVI. It's all over the world, like that's the coolest thing about crypto is that it's cross border. It doesn't have like boundaries, other than the fact of like your own layer one that you're in, that's like the boundaries that there are.
Yeah, you can get to that point. That's for the maxis for any project, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, that's what I love about crypto. When I first met crypto like 8 years ago,
Right.
it started changing my mind a lot. Right, I was the same as what we were discussing before. Why would I put my hard-earned money to anywhere? It's
Yeah.
you're crazy. I have these $100 and it cost me a
Mhm.
lot to make them.
Yep.
But then the mind start to change a lot. But the biggest thing is that it opens your mind completely to, hey, there's a wide world over there that you
Yeah.
cannot just focus on your city or
Yeah.
your town or your country, because
Mhm.
then you're gonna do a lot of you can't do a lot of things thinking that way. At the beginning, I remember my wife, she said, when we start making money
Mhm.
with crypto, but then we lose it and then we make it and lose it. It's normal, right? But
Yep.
she at the beginning was saying, okay, let's get some money out and let's put a business here. And I was like, why pay rent, hire people and bring inventory? Why?
Uh-huh.
I mean, there is no, it doesn't make sense once that you start knowing everything that you can do overall.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, that open some very good opportunities, and for
I
you
get
the
it.
same thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So,
It's good. I agree. Like it is cool to have people in front of you and stuff, but
mhm,
meeting in person, like I'm going to Dubai uh, in the end of April for Token 2049. I'm going to
nice.
Singapore in October. You know, going to Toronto for Consensus. You know, ETH Denver coming up. We'll be going to that. So like, it is good to meet people, to travel and meet people. But in terms of like work every day, I mean, you can do it all on computer. You know, and you can meet everyone from around there. So it's cool.
Yeah, that's a different way to do business, and
Yeah.
I like it. I enjoy it. Nice. I'm so glad that you're traveling around the world to meet people and do the thing that you like. I guess you like to do what you're doing, right? It's
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I love it. I love working with people at the end of the day, you know,
yeah,
because people kind of run the world, and they're like, you'll see a token or a project or like some like meme or whatever, right?
hmm,
But at the end of the day, someone made that, you know what I mean? Like someone put their hard time, energy, and effort
sure.
to provide value, you know, and so I love working with people on cool, fun, exciting ideas, and so like that's kind of what drives me to kind of do what I'm doing. And Web3 and AI and stuff is really cool. It's at the precipice of the height of technology currently, and yeah, I love it.
Yeah, yeah, that's amazing. I'm just writing here. If
Sure.
anybody want to get in contact with you, I'm just gonna add here a banner
There you go.
to contact you via X. If someone has a project in mind or anything, I mean, and want to contact you to get help,
Yeah.
make sure to
Absolutely.
get in
No,
contact
I
with me.
appreciate that. And anyone, I'm always open to just to hop on a call, answer questions, give some guidance here and there. If you like you're a new founder, you're a new have an idea, yeah, hit me up. You know, like happy to give
Nice.
out some advice, talk to people. I always love that kind of thing. So that's cool.
Perfect. So let's switch a little bit to Radix,
Sure.
because this is supposed to be about Radix, and we didn't
Yeah,
really speak about
let's
Radix.
do it.
So what do you think about right now the situation that Radix is going on? I mean, community, I think,
Sure.
is growing.
Mhm.
The projects are growing, but the price action is is not doing anything to really help to propel
Yeah,
Radix itself. I think
yeah, yeah.
price action is the main thing that bring people to an ecosystem. So
For
what
sure.
do you think about the situation right now?
So it's tricky, right? Like I love the Radix community. I mean, they so like I said, the whole reason why I like crypto is people. I like working with people, and the community in Radix is amazing. It is unfortunate with the price action, what's going on, and I mean that kind of comes down to like a foundational level for the token allocations, how the money that they've raised been spent, how the RDX works, and the foundation currently fund their team, right? Like,
Mhm.
I think that Radix and RDX Works kind of made a lot of strategic errors, especially during the early stages of 2020 bull run, 2021. Instead of trying to get on exchanges and create liquidity and profiles, they spend a lot of money on random networking, like having a spending money on sponsoring a race car. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm sorry, but not a lot of race car people are driving to be like, oh, I'm going to be in crypto. It's like, what does that actually do? You know? And so the foundation's fundraising model and the tokenomics is unfortunately puts a lot of downward pressure on the price, you know, like, because they have to sell tokens to fund the operations, you know? And so if you don't have a lot of liquidity and you don't have a lot of trading and volume to sell into, right? So if you had market makers to sell into, the price action wouldn't be impacted so much, right? But they're not doing that. They don't have tier one listings, you know, that hurts significantly. You know, being on a Binance or being on a Coinbase, which would have been a lot easier to do 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but now the competition is significantly higher. It's harder to get on, you know. And so one thing that I would suggest them doing is to sign up all the tier twos that they possibly can, all the 1.5s that they possibly can, hire market makers in jurisdictions where it's legal to do so, and hire legit market makers who aren't using market manipulation techniques, you know. Get that volume trading up, right? So that so when they are dumping tokens, right, to fund operations, they have liquidity and trading activity to dump into so that the price doesn't get significantly impacted, right? So there's a lot of things that they could do to kind of increase the viability of the product and the price action for the token, but they're unfortunately just not necessarily doing it, you know?
Yeah. I was speaking with Adam the other day on a space like this, and I was asking him why we cannot get listed on a tier one exchange, and he said that it's very difficult, as you just mentioned. Is very few spots in there as a new L1. So if it's a project that is under Ethereum or any EVM or Solana that is already listed, it's easier because it's the same system, right? But in order to list a new L1 that is different, that is not EVM, I guess it takes technical or different things to do on a tier one. But I don't know. I mean, I don't know how hard it is. According to him, it's not that there is no money to do that, but more than you need to be really calling the attention for them to get you in, as you just mentioned. So yeah, I think that they should go for more L2s or for more tier twos exchanges to bring more people and engage, because it's hard. I mean, it's hard right now. I do a lot of content, and in Spanish, my community tell me or text me or something, and they said, "Hey, I don't know why you're pushing for Radix, because it seems like an scam." And I'm like, "No, I mean it's a real good technology, and I'm all in because I see the potential, and I think at some point that sell pressure is gonna finish, and something is gonna propel the start of the bull run for Radix." But right now, the people just looking at the chart, they say, "No, that is not right. Something is not going well there," and it's hard to bring people to Radix because of that. So yeah, there's need to be more strategics that they can start doing. So the latest I've been hearing is that now people it's commenting on my videos until there is not a change in the head of Radix, and I think they're speaking about peers. Nothing is going to change. I'm not sure if that it's a true statement. Maybe you that had been in Radix for longer, do you think that would be the case or not really?
So I'll say one thing. Radix is definitely not a scam. You know what I mean? Like, they have a legitimate project. They've got some great, awesome tech. Like, it's cool. I mean, they just haven't been very successful. It's just been, it hasn't been managed the best way. And they're, like I said, one of the biggest problems they have is the token allocation and their token structure and how they're funding the project. It's not necessarily true that listing an L1 is harder. Like, yes, it's harder, but it doesn't take that long to integrate a new L1 to an exchange. Like, yes, it's a lot easier. You can get a meme coin that's Ethereum based or Solana based up and running like that, right? Because you just plug and play. And there is a little bit of technical components that you got to change. I've worked with several projects who launched layer ones and they are on tier one exchanges, and they did it within a month, So it's like the whole sell of saying, oh, they're not going to do it because it's too hard technically. No, it's not. It's just it takes some time, energy, and effort to do. And exchanges make money by trades, right? They have fees, and so one takes time and energy to do. Radix's volume is super low. Not a whole lot of hype around it right now. So that's that aspect. But in terms of like you asked, like the top down, I mean, I think Dan's the one calling the shots at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Like if he wanted Piers gone, he could have Piers gone. I think Piers is great, but I think Dan's at the end of the day is the one who decides how the allocations are going, right? Like this is his project. He's the brain behind it. I think that a top-down shift would change, but I think the mentality has got to also shift for Dan. Like I've talked to Dan, I don't know, I've interviewed him probably like 3 or 4 times, and he's a great dude. I love him, super smart. But I think he's like kind of miscalculated some of the timing aspects of launching. Like Babylon being delayed as long as it did absolutely killed the project. Like I think that was one of the biggest drivers for Radix's recent price action, and a lot of the people kind of falling away was that like Babylon was supposed to launch in 2021, and then it was supposed to be 2022, and then it didn't launch until September of 2023, right? And it just stalled all the momentum, right? Like we had the massive influx of NFTs, which drove so many retail users to crypto, right? And like to make an NFT, you need a smart contract, right? And so we were a layer one without a smart contract system for such a long time. They kept delaying it, and they worked on other things like building the wallet and all that other stuff. So I think they just misappropriated like the timing of the market and catching certain waves, and that's kind of why there's not as much hype, and that's why you can't get on the layer ones now. So I think that's one of the biggest things. I don't necessarily think it's specifically Piers, because Piers is a super smart guy, and I think he's really talented. So, but mismanaged a little bit.
But shouldn't be that right now Piers would be able to take some decisions of that level, as he's been, as far as I understood, Piers is the CEO right now for Radix Works, and then on the side of the foundation, right? So the decisions, I would think that they made that move thinking, okay, Dan is, as you said, a super smart dude, very intelligent, but maybe he didn't have those skills to manage something as big as Radix is right now. So that's why they bring Piers into the mix, right? But so what I understand is, even though that they did that change, Dan still have the last word to say like that.
Yeah. So this is where that's why I think that the top down comes from Dan, right? So to understand the separation of powers, you have to understand how like token projects are structured, right? So traditionally you have a RDX Works, where it is the labs, the development company, the company that's supporting the project overall. And then you've got the foundation. The foundation is what controls the tokens. What controls the token supply. It's the token issue. You know what I mean? They're the ones that are actually technically funding this stuff specifically because they have the ownership and rights over the tokens, right? And so it's like, I'm not exactly sure how Radix is set up specifically in terms of like decision-making and control, but like foundational side traditionally, and there's like how 99% of all projects do it, is the token issuer side. And that's where the tokens are owned. And at the end of the day, that has the control. So if Dan has control of all the tokens and how that's allocated, you know what I mean? He's controlling the funding. The foundation gives grants to development co. The development co can take on investment themselves, which a couple years ago they raised about $10 million on $400 million valuation, right? But that was investment into RDX Works, I believe, but the tokens were funded by the foundation, right, and the treasury and everything. And so it's like I don't know the exact inner workings of how RDX Works and the foundation is set up, but like how they're presenting it is that the dev team, so like the otter thing, the purple otter guy, right? So like that's RDX Works. That's like marketing and deploying like maintenance of the wallet and stuff like that, because that's the software that operates the IP of the foundation, which is the XRD token. And then Dan is currently working on the Cassandra pretty much playground, he calls it, which is just like a test net kind of for Shein, you know? And so like it depends. Like I think that Dan at the end of the day is the guy calling the shots here. It's not necessarily Piers. Piers is just the guy.
Okay, that's fair. That's good. Good to be understanding every time more how the everything in Radix is set up. So do you see a turnaround of events that could happen that really helps Radix instead of going to zero and die to be successful? Because I mean the tech is there. I think the layer one, it works super nice. I mean, it's easy to use.
It's great.
Very fast. So everything is good. Just it needs something to propel and to change that road that is going. Do you think something can happen that really make that switch?
I think so. I mean, so one of the other knocks on Radix is that it's a sharding system, and that has like multiple shards, right? Like, and so, and this is like getting a little technical, but how someone's explaining it to me is that like if you have multiple shards that are settling transactions instead of one, there's opportunities for arbitrage, right? So arbitrage is taking the difference in prices and having additional information and margins on like settlements before it happens, right? So like say you have 100 different shards and one shard is settling a transaction before the other shards, you can potentially have the opportunity to arbitrage any price action that's done on chain, right? So that's one issue. But one thing that I can see that could work significantly well is because like you see layer twos that exist and people are like, oh, you don't need layer twos on Radix. I'm like, but honestly, you might want to, like in terms of having like an on-chain order book ledger, right? Like a layer two that's a little more centralized where you can't see trades on there, or you can use like high frequency trading protocols that people use become important, right? So I can see if scalability and speed truly becomes a very prominent issue again and becomes to the forefront, that could be a catalyst for Radix. But Dan's got to be ready to deliver. You know what I mean? Like he's talked about Shein, like, and having infinite scalability and all this stuff for a very long time. But like they missed the boat on a lot of NFTs and smart contracts and a lot of the DeFi stuff because they didn't have smart contracts when people were building that out, right? If the scalability issue of blockchain, because we saw it with Trump coin, right? So on Solana, like Solana shut down, you know what I mean? And people weren't able to make trades. That's a problem, right? And so that's a problem that Radix potentially solves, right? And so if scalability does become an issue again and it becomes to the forefront, Radix has to capitalize on it. Has to. It absolutely has to, because if it's going to be able to scale, it says that it can take on the economics of the entire world in terms of scalability. When that becomes the narrative again, and I think it will, but you need a massive influx of retail for that to happen, right? Look at all these people that bought Trump coin. That was retail dumping in. It was the same thing with NFTs and all that. There was so many retail trading these like more complex smart contracts, and that caused network congestion. And then so all of a sudden, scalability was an issue again. And so if we get a massive influx of retail and scalability becomes an issue, Radix could very well get on the map, and but they got to be positioned to capitalize on it, like significantly,
Yeah.
you know. And so I think that's the biggest catalyst for Radix.
I guess that's the bet, right, for from Dan right now, and I do think that it's gonna become a problem, but I'm not sure if that's gonna be on this cycle or next cycle to really have that need of something more scalable. I mean, on last cycle, I remember Ethereum transactions. I think the higher I paid was like 350, just the fee. So that's
Yeah,
crazy, and the time and everything. And
yeah,
Solana, I saw a post, but I don't know. I wasn't trading the Trump coin or
mhm,
Melania Trump
sure,
token, but I saw that at some point one person that wanted to sell, it was all the way the fee on 0.19 sold, so it
yeah,
was expensive as well. I don't know if that
yeah.
was
That
true
is
or not,
expensive. 0.19
but
souls. What is that? $50.
yeah, something it's very expensive. And
Yeah,
okay, you pay it, no problem, but if
yeah,
you cannot sell, I mean, it was scary for a lot of people. I guess
mm,
I when I saw that token launch on Saturday, and then on Sunday I did a live just to speak about that token. It
sure,
was on $67, and everybody was asking, is it a good time to buy? And I was like, no guys, it
yeah,
just exploded. It
yeah,
can go higher, it can go $200 to $1,300 without any 130 bucks with no issue, but
uh-huh,
it's super risky to be there. I told him,
exactly.
if whenever it start dropping, it's gonna go to $30, and
Yeah,
it went there. But
yeah,
I can feel, or I can I put in my in the shoes of other people when they bought that $70 because they thought it was gonna go 100, and then they were not able to sell. That should
yeah,
be a scary feeling,
yeah,
a
man.
scam feeling, and things like
I
that.
agree.
So, but and I saw that on yesterday scalability test that was performed.
Mhm.
They connected 100 nodes, and they were able to achieve a higher number of swaps per second. The number I saw, it's I think Solana broke in 730 swaps per
Jeez.
second, I think,
Yeah.
and they were able to hit 1,000 with only 100 nodes
Mhm.
with regular computers. So I think it's going well, but yeah, if this become a problem, and we start seeing retail, I think we haven't seen retail this bull cycle so far.
No.
It's been more in institutional
Yeah.
that we've been seeing, but whenever we have retail, and I think should happen
Yeah.
soon, we
Yeah.
need
I mean,
to
it's
start.
hard for retail right now, right? Like it's hard to buy like magical internet money when you can't afford to put food on your table. It's a hard time in the world, like inflation destroyed everyone's bags more than anything. You know what I mean? Like the whole world is experiencing the rise in cost of prices that is just it's really hurting a lot of people's bank accounts. And unfortunately, the first thing to go is your savings account. You know what I mean? Like if you have high credit cards and you're paying interest, you know what I mean? You're pulling out, you're dumping your Radix tokens to pay for groceries. You're dumping
Mhm.
your NFTs to uh, pay for rent. You know what I mean? And so it is tough. And I haven't seen retail come in yet, like you said, either. I think they're gonna come in
Mhm.
once things kind of settle down. Hopefully the economy picks up, inflation settles down. I can see this bull market extending for a significant time. Like I don't think we're going to see the massive like swings in prices like we have in 2017 and then 2021, 2020, 2022. But I think we're going to see a slower, more steady rise here. Like since the
Mhm.
retail didn't come in massively, and it has been institutions like everyone in retail, like all the retailers in 2021 and 2017 were like, institutions are going to come and we can't wait. The institutions are finally here, but the
Yeah.
retail just didn't show up. You know what I mean? So it's like, wait, what? So once we get that massive influx of retail, people coming in, people being excited again, which I think will happen if Trump announces a Bitcoin reserve. I think retail is going to explode because Bitcoin, if Trump announces a Federal Reserve, strategic reserve for Bitcoin, Bitcoin's going to go to $200,000. like without a doubt. Not financial advice, but this is just my opinion. And so like if that happens, the amount of capital that's going to be available for people that are in there, that's all going to flood into meme coins, tokens, other ancillary projects that Web3 is all about, And so I see retail coming in if that happens, and it's going to be
for sure. Yeah, I'm expecting that to happen this year. I mean, to start seeing retail at some point this year. But yeah, it's takes so long so far, and everybody's tired. I mean, I think most of the people that we are here on the ecosystem, not speaking about Radix, but crypto in general, I think is the same people that has been here since the last cycle, at least, that bought at the top and then stay here. It's most of the people that's the case, or even before, like yourself or myself. But not so many new people yet. So and the people that has been here for at least one cycle, they're tired. I see the comments on my videos and everywhere saying, man, I'm tired. And what I tell them is that's what they want. They want you to get tired, to sell, and to do that to most of the people, so that they can then push the prices of everything up. That's the game always, that it has been since ages. Forever. Right?
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I totally get that people are tired. And one thing though too with like lack of retail is like the narrative. Like there was always so many awesome narratives, right? That like drove people to crypto, like Bitcoin, like first coming around, like 2017, 2016 boom was smart contracts, Ethereum, right? Like that kind of spread everything and made it go really crazy, right? Like people were like smart contracts, oh my God, blah, blah, blah. And then 2019, 2020, the big push was DeFi, right? 2021, 2022, drove a massive with NFTs, you know what I mean? It was just crazy, And so like NFT gaming and everything. And so like, I think that like DePIN didn't really play out, wasn't that popular. And then you've got AI agents now, which is cool, but like some people aren't necessarily associating crypto with AI, but there's a ton of use cases for crypto and AI, And so I think that's going to be a driver down the road. But like, there just hasn't been that massive blow off the top narrative that people are just like, oh, we got to jump back in to crypto, because like people mock NFTs, but I loved NFTs, because it's just like it created community. It was entertainment, you know what I mean? It's like collecting Pokemon cards, like Magic the Gathering, like those kinds of things. Like people loved that crap, and it was fun, like trading them, and like people can actually do something on chain, Meme coins are kind of there, but people associate meme coins with like penny stocks and stuff. So it has like kind of a negative, and it's just a token. It's a fungible token. It's not like a fun, cool image that is a unique identifier to yourself, And so I'm really looking forward to what the next narrative is going to be to get retail to jump in, and whoever figures it out first, it's gonna be a big thing.
It's gonna make a lot of money, that narrative. So tell me now that you mentioned the NFTs, tell me about your collection. How did you start?
Sure.
Tell your experience on that.
Honestly, it was one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life. It was wild. It was an absolutely wild time. Like, because I was in crypto for a very long time, and then initially, like, I heard about NFTs and like JPEGs and like, like Bored Apes. And I was like, all right, whatever. It's kind of cool, but I don't know. It seems like weird. But then I went to a conference. It was Bitcoin 2020, before the pandemic hit, or 2021, actually, right? Like middle of it. And someone was talking about NFTs and how it's community based, and how it like really drives like interaction and like the proof of ownership and stuff. And I was like really sold on it. I was like, man, that's kind of cool. Like community, you can kind of rally around it. And so I've had like a very up and down life, right? So like my NFT project was called the BuffWild Crew, and like it was meant to be kind of an uplifting kind of thing. Like the front of the page is it's like, hey, it's about free speech, and everyone's welcome here, and you're allowed to speak your minds. So like that was one aspect. And then like the story behind it was that like, so the buffalo, the American buffalo, like bison, right? Like, so um, back in the day, around the 1900s, there was only like 400 bison left in the wild, right? And so like all these people were saying, scientists were saying they're going to go extinct. They're no longer going to be here. You're only going to see them in zoos. And then some conservation efforts were put in place, hunting bans, and like protected them a little bit. And now there's over 300,000 buffalo and bison living in the wild, right? And so it's like, um, it's phenomenal. So it's like it went from 30 million down to 400, and now the population is back on the rise, right? And so it's like no matter what, no matter how down you are, no matter how out you feel, you just gotta remember the buffalo. You know what I mean? And it was like a
Nice.
line charge. You know, just remember the buffalo. You can always come back from this. You can always pick yourself up. There's always light at the end of the tunnel. You know, and so that was kind of like the theme of buff on baby, you know what I mean? Like so we had like our cool little NFTs, launched who sold out, which was so much fun. 10,000 pixel not pixel,
Wow.
10,000 piece collection. And we had a game, a play to earn game, where we launched a token that we just kind of gave away, and then we provided like $20,000 in liquidity. And so it's funny because like we put it in the liquidity pool, but since we were giving the tokens away for the play to earn game, it was just pummeling down. So we basically just blew $20,000, but it was awesome because the community got to do it, and we're spreading back out some of the wealth, you know, and that was a really cool time. I remember some guy, and this is where it goes back to the original part of our conversation about community and about whether or not it's all over the world. But some guy in Brazil took a picture and video of his kid playing the BuffWild game and earning tokens, and he was like so thankful for this project, so thankful that this is an opportunity. Like even though like every week we get like $25 worth of buff tokens, but it helped them, you know, and they were able to you know buy food and do stuff. So it was a really cool time. It was a fun project to be a part of. I still support it, and we still do some things here and there, and who knows with the sky limits. We have some things in the pipeline that we just haven't launched just because the market's not there for NFTs, and so we don't want to like launch into something that's not great, you know. And so, but no, it was honestly one of the best things I've ever done in my life.
That's amazing. Yeah, and seeing something like that for the community, that's what really make all the effort count, right? So
Yeah.
So down there, I added the NFT collection, the web page for anybody that wanna go there and join and check it out. You can go in which NFT store can they go and check it out?
It's on Trove. They're all on Trove. You can go check it out there. I'm pretty sure it's on Radland or Radish Square now. The rebranded multiple times.
Okay.
So you get them on there too. We used to have our own exchange, but we launched with Radland, and so we shut down that exchange because it was like it was the Web 2 version. Because I don't know if you remember, like before smart contracts, we had to like keep all of the data off chain because there was no on chain data. So we had to like have like an external Web 2 style automated exchange for people, and so like that was a fun thing, but we don't operate that anymore because now it's on chain.
Nice, perfect. So to finish, Thomas, what can you tell me about your experience doing the podcast? I think it's been like 1 year since you stopped.
Yeah, I just I got crazy busy, honestly, but my experience with the podcast was so much fun. I interviewed a lot of the founders on Radix, like Caviar 9, DeFi Plaza, Radlock. I interviewed Beam, interviewed Nelly from Radix Charts. Let's see, Mick Day. I interviewed Piers, Jacob, Dan multiple times. Like it was a lot of fun. Like went to conferences and met all of them. It was a really good time, you know, like I said, community is like my number one thing here. And when you're interacting and talking with people and having conversations, that's kind of what it's all about, in my opinion.
For sure. Yeah, that's a good experience to speak with other people that is as crazy as you or even crazier, right?
Not a
To
lot of
know
people
that
as
you're
crazy
the
as
only
me.
one.
I'm very much a DJ at heart, so
Excellent.
yeah.
Okay, Thomas, we're going to the 1 hour mark. So,
Yes.
first of all, thank you very much for being as open to be here and
Absolutely.
just to speak about different topics, and then also to speak about Radix and
Yeah. I
everything
love
that
it.
is going on. Anything that you would like to add to the people that is listening right now or is going to listen later on?
Sure, sure. I would just say, one, thanks for having me, man. This is a blast. I love coming on and talking about this stuff. I have a very like kind of specialized niche in terms of knowledge. I get to see like a lot of the background of what people are doing.
Yeah,
But like what I would leave with is one, like keep going. You know what I mean? Like if you're an entrepreneur, if you're a tech guy, keep building, keep learning, and get out there, talk to people. Like one of the biggest
yeah,
things about like growing a community is just talking to people every day, getting people involved, get out there and build something, like make a name for yourself, just kind of push, and don't be afraid to um, kind of get out of your boundaries, like
mhm,
you being on this show, you know what I mean? It's cool, like you're out here doing all this stuff, like you have 105K subs on YouTube is incredible, you know what I mean? So like we need more people like you, and you're doing some awesome stuff. And so like I love Radix. I've always support Radix. I mean, you'll hear me talk about things that I don't like they're doing from time to time. But like I've kind of shifted the gears to just be like, just be supportive of everyone and kind of help everyone do their thing, and it's just it's hard out there, and just keep going. And I think the bull market is just getting started, baby. So let's get it going. You know what I mean? Let's keep rocking.
yeah, for sure. Thanks for those words. And I mean to really give to all the people out there that is thinking, no, I'm giving up. I cannot
Mhm.
do it this anymore. Just patience, patience, patience. What I've learned for the market is that the money go from impatient people to patient people. So
Yeah,
have patience, and the rewards is gonna come.
100%.
Let's hope sooner rather than later, but
Yes,
it's
yes.
gonna come eventually. So
Absolutely,
yeah.
absolutely. Cool.
All
Well, man, thanks for
right.
having me. I really appreciate it. It's been a
Now,
lot of fun.
thanks, Thomas, and thanks everybody that is watching right now or later on. And we'll see you on the next one.